Good Monday morning, everyone, especially those august initiates of the Order of Monday Morning. Oh, and our secret sign. What I have in my hand here, and I'm about ready to bless you, is a palm frond. Okay. And Constance trimmed the neighbor's palm tree yesterday, yesterday being Palm Sunday, a Christian holiday. But this time of year is everybody's holiday. Okay. And if you want to look at it, the big picture, every day is a holy day. But this week, we've got today is Purim, I believe, a Jewish holiday that commemorates the foiling of a evil plan by Persian bureaucrats to genocide the Jewish population in Persia, and that was foiled in a dramatic and romantic, sexy way. And it's coming up on we're smack dab in the middle of Ramadan. Okay, the Christian holiday yesterday, starting with Palm Sunday, and going through the entire story of the arrest, trial, crucifixion of Jesus that the Christians celebrate at Easter time, which I'm going to talk about more in a minute here. And of course, it's the Thelemic holy days that started with the supreme invocation of Horus in 1904 on March 20th, and then the writing of the Book of the Law, which happens in April 8th, 9th, and 10th. But the reason I'm bringing this up, I guess, is just to share with you the crazy life of the DuQuettes, as if you might be interested in that, having your own crazy lives. Yesterday, I was sitting in the living room, okay, because I have my computer set up, or me set up with my computer in the living room because it's more pleasant than my cold office here. And I'm working on the new book, and which is almost through, by the way. I'm just kind of wrapping it up. I hope you'll enjoy it when it comes out. Constance was working in the yard. I didn't know what she was doing. I was sort of engrossed in the book. And she comes around to the front door, comes around the side of the house. And she says, "You've got to come out here. You've got to walk out here, even if it's in your stocking feet." She yells at me. And I go to the front door, and she's standing there with a huge, like a giant fan. A giant fan, a palm frond, a huge one. Okay. You could literally cause a wind. You could blow out a birthday cake candles assembly with it. It was so big. And she says, "Come out of here and just walk toward the garage, toward the carport." And because I was giggling terribly. And as I walked toward the carport, she was fanning me from behind. She says, "I hope the neighbors see this. Hosanna, Hosanna." Hosanna. And we were both crippled. I don't know if the neighbors saw it, but if they did, that would be quite a scene. But anyway, then she had a couple of these smaller ones, and she gave me this one. This is my own. She had one, and we mutually blessed each other. Okay, with like Gnostic Catholic ending of a mass, and we blessed each other to have health and wealth and strength and joy and and peace and that fulfillment of will and love under will that is perpetual happiness. And that's what I do to you right now. So, and that's the story, the Palm Sunday story. And we're right next door to a beautiful Spanish style Episcopal Lutheran church. I mean, right there. It's right next to the house here. And I don't know, I don't know if anyone there saw that or not. I titled today's talk Happy Kick-Ass Monday. And continuing with the solar religion myth that Christians celebrate in a hardly veiled way, with the story of the Easter and the crucifixion and all of that, because it's a universal thing. Okay, it's not a Christian thing. It's a yearly thing. It's a sun thing. It's a solar thing. It's a weather thing. Okay, which we all are in tune with. That's why it seems that everybody's religion, if we're looking for some visceral, guttural DNA worship thing, it's this time of year. It's this spring time of year. But the story of Jesus's entry into Jerusalem, his last few acts that he did there, his arrest, his trial, his crucifixion, and supposed resurrection, are so ingrained in the Western civilization that I think it's a worthy subject to at least discuss. I call this Kick-Ass Monday because yesterday was Palm Sunday when he blew into town. And he blew into town, I'll talk about that in a second. But today's the day he went to the temple and kicked ass. He went to the great temple of Jerusalem. And okay, part of the worship technique or service, or the worship thing, was that you sacrifice stuff, or the Jews sacrifice stuff, and it's blood sacrifice. Okay, and if you've got if you're rich enough to have animals, you bring a lamb. Okay, which is a big thing, because afterwards, after sacrifice, the priests get to eat it. But if you're not rich, okay, and you can't afford to bring a cow or a lamb to sacrifice, it's like a donation, okay, then a dove will do, a bird. That's something. Just as long as it bleeds and dies, okay, it'll work. And doves you can actually eat, like, okay, so that was, a dove will do, okay. But you just don't bring your own dove. Okay. You have to buy a dove at the temple. Okay. Buy it because they're special kinds of doves. Okay. Not only do you have to buy the dove, okay, you can't spend money. You can't buy it with a Roman shekel or whatever they were called. You can't buy it with normal currency. You have to buy it with biblical crypto. Okay. You got to exchange your hard-earned cash for crypto, temple money. Okay. And the exchange rate is such a screwing that they make a profit. Not only they make a profit out of selling you the damn dove, they make a profit out of changing your money into crypto. They skim this and they skim that. Okay, it was fucking capitalism at its worst, and Jesus was really, really pissed, and he threw a fit. He freaked. He overturned the table and chased him out and whipped him with stuff. It was a violent, provocative act that he knew was going to get his ass in trouble, and he knew it was going to get him arrested eventually. Okay. But what an act. What a glorious kick-ass act. This is the day that we should celebrate. Okay. It's Kick-Ass Monday. Now, why do I say that he knew he was going to get himself arrested? Now, the Christian doctrine would make it seem like, I know that I must now sacrifice myself for future generations of European kings. No. This was going to be a full-blown political coup. He was, to all intent and purposes, he was the hereditary king of the Jews. Okay, just like King Charles or Prince Charles is the hereditary king of England. I mean, it was a blood thing, just like that. People kept track of those things. He was. The current king of the area, Herod Antipas, was just like a puppet nobody that Rome installed to try to keep the area in check. And he was ripe for being overthrown. And the Jesus character was well known enough in the population as a cool guy, as a healer, as a wise man, he was a cool guy, and had a great grassroots support. And when he came into town, they all knew he was coming into town. They all thought he was coming into town. If he comes into town, okay, watch out, Herod Antipas. Rome will have a new guy to, okay. So when he came into town, he had a great reception. And if that wasn't a spontaneous reception, it was easily choreographed. And the prophet Zechariah had, back in religious literature, talked about a king, the king entering the city on an ass or a colt. And so it was a just like Trump coming down the golden escalator, it was a choreographed moment. And perhaps just like Trump, they probably paid a few people to come out with palm fronds and go Hosanna, Hosanna, which is like, hey, cool, whoopee. Okay. But why did that fail? Okay. I wrote a book. It's a novel. Okay. Nevertheless, I make many observations in it that might kind of explain things, and I want to share a little of that with you. The book is called An Accidental Christ. An earlier version was just called Accidental Christ, and there was only a small number of hardbound and very expensive. This is incredibly expanded, and this is the book. If you were curious, this is the book. Accidental Christ, the story of Jesus is told by his uncle. Yes, it's funny in spots, but it's also a very serious and provocative look at the events from a very objective and unsuperstitious point of view. There had been a plot, okay, uh, just like kings and queens in Europe since time immemorial have been groomed, have been bred and groomed and prepared to be the ruling monarch when they grow up. Both John the Baptist and Jesus were groomed like that. Their bloodlines both qualified them, if under certain political circumstances, their blood qualified them to say, "Hey, I'm king. If anyone needs to be dealt with, it's me. I'm the king of this area." Okay. And Jesus had been well educated and everything else, and there was he really discovered about the time he was 11, and he was going to school in Egypt. Okay, that there was a influential and concerted effort to allow him to first of all become famous, and then installed. Okay, it was a real live coup. And a lot of the story talks about the preparation and why he was such a great healer and why he was such a cool guy, how he got to be such a cool guy at the age of 33. But the plot started to fail. And this is what I want to pick up a couple things here. The conspirators, his uncle Clopas, he's mentioned in the Bible, and Joseph of Arimathea, also mentioned in the Bible, got themselves kidnapped one night. 3 nights ago, our beloved council member, and this is another conspirator from way back, Ephron of Arbela, was beset on the road by temple soldiers and brought before Caiaphas, that's the high priest of Israel. Caiaphas's personal guard then bound him and put him to the question regarding the intentions of the miracle worker of Galilee, Jesus. The interrogation was brutal and lasted throughout the night. I regret to report that before he died, Ephron laid bare the essential secrets of the Council of Seven. Those are the major generational conspirators. He laid bare the essential secrets of the Council of Seven and our great plan. The words were so blunt and absolute that no one in the room could speak. It was as though all the air had been sucked from their bodies. Just like that, we're discovered? Is it over? Lazar snapped. Now Lazar was Lazarus. Okay. I'm afraid so, dear boy, Clopas replied. We are undone, Jesus uttered under his breath. They're all meeting in somebody's living room here. Yes, we are indeed undone, Joseph repeated. And this is Joseph of Arimathea, who was a member of the Sanhedrin and the biggest, most influential, richest of all the conspirators. He was the head guy. How do you know all this has occurred? Are you certain of these facts? Apollonius asked. Quite certain, indeed, Joseph responded. For the last 2 years, my own agent, our own agent, has served as personal valet to Caiaphas. There's nothing the high priest does or says that is not almost immediately made known to me. And I say unto you, Caiaphas now knows everything. Enough to successfully thwart the entire Messiah movement and have us all put to death the moment he so chooses. And I have every reason to believe he will soon choose to do just that. The only thing that is preventing our immediate arrest is the fact that Caiaphas must avoid dispatching us without inadvertently implicating himself or the temple establishment in the eyes of the Romans. Friends, as of this moment, we 6 are the only ones privy to this information. I'm afraid it's an inescapable fact. The sacred cause for which we and our forefathers plotted and fought and died is now doomed, at least for our generation. We in this room must accept the fact and immediately proceed to make new plans, first to save our lives, then to set the stage for the next generation's opportunity. All our thoughts and labors must now be bent toward a new purpose. And what exactly is this new purpose for which we must now dedicate our lives? Jesus asked with more than a hint of sarcasm in his voice. Clopas answered, the preservation of your blood, my boy, and the universal recognition among Jews throughout the world that, crowned or not, you are the King of the Jews, and you carry the throne of David in your loins, and it's only a matter of time until that kingdom will come again. My boy, no matter what happens to us, you must live, and your seed must sow the fields of the future. Jesus' thoughts turned immediately to Mary, the Magdalene, and the child. That's another part of this story we won't get into right now. Joseph leaned forward and placed his hands on Jesus. 1,000 male infants were butchered by Herod the Great when you were born, and countless more martyrs shall surely fall in the coming Holocaust. But you, my boy, must live. But Lord, what is the coming Holocaust you speak of? Is this the revolt of the zealoters? That's the kind of military, the terrorists, the good terrorists, sort of. How can you be so certain the future holds such a catastrophe? Lazar asked. How indeed Apollonius could no longer hold his indignation, indignation, excuse me. My lord, it's easy for you to say that we must now bend our labors toward a new purpose, but do you really believe any of us will be able to escape with our lives? The demons that seek our destruction are legion: Herod, the Romans, the Sadducees, Pharisees, the Dead Sea Essenes, the priests, the money changers, and a host of greedy landholders who now covet your family's estates and fortunes. They all hate us. They all want us dead. Our only chance of survival was the success of our plan. Now that it's been taken from us, what remains? Ah, yes, Joseph responded. The demons all hate us, but their hate and fear might be our salvation, for they hate each other. And they all fear the greatest of the devils, Rome. Jesus stood up and tried to appear calm. May the doomed king speak. May the may the blood of David speak. The comment actually made Uncle Clopas and Lazar almost smile. I'd like to hear the answers to Lazar's question and Apollonius's concerns, but first tell us, Joseph, how is it that you are privy to Rome's intentions? Is Pontius Pilate's valet your agent? Now, I'm going to skip over this because he and Uncle Clopas are going to tell the story about how they met and spoke with Pontius Pilate's wife, who was a bit superstitious and had visions herself and had recurring bouts of epilepsy and things. But she had it stuck in her claw that Jesus was a cool guy, and she was going to do everything she could to make sure her husband made sure that he didn't get killed in the events that were about to unfold. So just put it that way. It's an interesting story. Please read the book and you'll probably get a kick out of it. After they found out and were pretty secure that they might be able to pull off some kind of thing that would not only save their lives but set the stage for another generation, at least, to do what they'd been planning to do. Here's how it ends. This is. I presume you know that last evening your high priest, Caiaphas, tortured to death one of your council of seven. This is still Pontius Pilate's wife speaking. And he revealed your entire plot to overthrow King Herod Antipas and reestablish a Davidian theocratic monarchy. Is it not so? A pure-blood David on the throne, yes? I must say, gentlemen, I'm impressed by the level of sophistication of your planning displays. Please, gentlemen, my time is short tonight. I still have much to share with you. Your Messiah movement is compromised beyond reclamation. And at least for the next few years, you cannot see at least for the next few years. If you cannot see that, then I vastly overestimated your intelligence. Your fellow conspirators have been unmasked and are at this moment in mortal danger. You must now accept your circumstances and aim the dart of your will toward securing your own survival. My dear fellows, I think it's important for you to understand that my husband, harbors no ill will toward Jesus or you or even the idea of your little dream kingdom. But allow me to be frank with you. The timing of your little revolution is making him very nervous. His imperial appointment as governor of Judea will soon come to an end. The gods so far have allowed him to administer a modest semblance of Pax Romana in this hellish corner of the empire. He cannot and will not have his golden reputation besmirched in the final months of an otherwise successful posting. No, gentlemen, he and I will return to Rome with our heads held high and our purses filled. I have seen to it. I have a gift. She's talking about her visionary gift. The spirits have shown me what will come to pass, gentlemen. I'm destined to save the life of my sweet physician Jesus, and in doing so, I will incidentally be helping you salvage your precious dream of a future Jewish kingdom. But it's a kingdom that must wait until my husband has successfully completed his posting in Judea. Your kingdom must wait until he and I are once again safely ensconced in our villa in Pompeii. Okay, that's the story they were just relating in somebody's living room there. So Brother Apollonius then got up and spoke to the people that they just told this story to. My lords, this is indeed a tale. My head is swimming. Tell us, Joseph, what must we do now in the days to come? And this days to come is the holy season we're in right now, okay? Did this Roman seeress tell you exactly how she and her husband were going to save us all? Joseph rubbed his eyes again. Yes, but for the moment only broad generalities. The mechanism has many moving parts, and the drama peoples with many players and many motives. The scheme is hopelessly complex and will likely be beset with many surprises. There are always factors, infinite and unknown, and we must be prepared to be audaciously courageous and flexible to every twist of the plot. But the lady assures us that she has spent her entire adult life exploiting chaos to create order. As long as we keep in intimate contact with her, Pilate will be ready to adjust to every unexpected event. Joseph filled everybody's wine cup and sat back down at the table and lowered his voice. Caiaphas knows we're planning for Jesus to fulfill the prophecies and enter the holy city in triumph a few days before the feast of Passover. Word has already gone out that this is going to happen. Already, a host of devotees are planning an enthusiastic welcome. Our valet agent informs us that Caiaphas plans to allow this to happen so as to incriminate our Messiah and in blasphemy and sedition. He will then wait for Passover when we're all gathered together in the holy city, and he will strike and have Jesus arrested and quickly tried and publicly executed. So, Lord Joseph, tell us, how do we prevent that from happening? Jesus asked with a smile. We don't prevent it, Joseph answered coldly. We will allow that all to happen. You will be arrested, tried, and executed. Jesus' smile faded. And then, my son, you will raise yourself from the dead. That's our little reading for Kick-Ass Monday. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you get this book. My good friends at Llewellyn were so supportive of this effort to make this such a beautiful book, and I think it's an important story, and they really stuck their neck out in order to do it. And I would really like it. I would really like it to sell well, not only for me, but for the brave people at Llewellyn that were willing to give something like this a shot, especially from somebody like me that's not known for writing novels. So until tomorrow, I'll figure out what kind of day tomorrow is. But this, for the order of Monday morning, is Kick-Ass Monday. So the Lord bless you. The Lord enlighten your minds and comfort your hearts and sustain your bodies. The Lord bring you to the accomplishment of your true wills, the great work, the summum bonum, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.